Alright, let's start recording this. Looking at our RSI heat map, let's go to the 12 hour. We are in neutral, which basically gives us that space for our 1 day to just liquidate or try to get both sides. We even have some which are in overbought and some that are completely oversold. Jelly Jelly is a terrible meme coin, so probably want to look at that here and see how it's doing well, for a scalp anyways. Going to the 24 hour, you have the likes of, oh, Pippin just dropped. Okay. Um but anyways, your top 3, so BTC, ETH and Solana are just chilling in weak. They're still very weak and they are moving up a bit in terms of strength, but overall we should assume some more downside. Looking at the liquidation heat map, we have a cluster of liquidity at 66,000. It wouldn't surprise me if we head down there in this stream, actually. Same thing with liquidity stacked pretty evenly on the 48 hour 7. Oh no, that is, what is this? 484 million versus 545. So slightly more on the top side or the short side. Looking at the 3 day, we do have a cluster here at 71k and significantly more shorts than we have longs, so that's some hopium right there. The 1 week should be relatively even, but we do have clusters at 66k and 71k. So we might be stuck in a range between 66 and 71k. Looking at the 2 week, our main cluster is at 77, which does give me hope that we are going to head up. Now, that should just about do the FA, so let me stop sharing screen and let's actually head into the charts because that's the exciting part. Now, what I want you guys to focus on essentially is this 12-hour chart that I have. Bitcoin is in an ascending triangle, and that's true, right? Now, the CPO plus isn't in our favor, but we can see that there was a decrease in outflows. And on top of that, initially I thought once we got this double top, right, we would just break to the downside and capitulate. But currently, we are being held by this trend line and by this support here on the lower time frames, which seems to tell me that we could possibly still reach the top of this resistance at about 71, 72k and at least get to this FVG. If we get to this FVG, we're likely going to retest and we're going to actually see the move from here. If we retest and it's successful, then we can go up to the 618 or equilibrium at 80k. Now, of course, that all hinges on the fact that we have to be able to bounce off the trend line. It's possible for us to wick to the downside, get 66k, so about here, wick down here, close above the trend line, and still head up. And that would mean we'd have essentially a double bottom that would form. So I know this is a little ugly, but if we can get a double bottom to form like this, even if there's a huge ass wick to the downside like this candle over here, then we should still get some upside. But given that our CPO plus on the higher time frames are pointed down, it becomes very difficult to basically assume that it will continue up. This looks more like a downside. Then again, our CPO plus is an oscillator, and it is a very accurate oscillator, but it's possible for our lower time frames to essentially influence the move of our higher time frames because everything starts, or at least it cascades from the top down, but then some moves from the downside can influence your moves to the upside. So if we go zoom out to the 1 day, which is a little bit higher, we can see that there is some move to the upside happening. Now on the 1 day, it's not entirely clear that we are rejecting because of the fact that we got an indecision candle, but on the 1 day, it does seem to think that we are headed up. So this could be a case where the 12 hours pointed down, but it's going to transition up because it's at the 0 line and go coincide with the 1 day's move to the upside. Now, the 1 week is still pointed down. So if I pull out the 1 week, I believe here, The 1 week is still pointed down, and it hasn't really gone oversold, and my PC's lagging. But we can see that our MVP ribbon, or our momentum, is already at the bottom of the channel. And the last time that happened was over here, all the way back in 2022. And 2022, the bear market, we still got a little bit more downside, right? We still dropped from this candle over here by another 20%, right? But that was sort of the perfect time to, or anywhere here would have been the perfect time to buy, because from this point, if you were able to withstand a 20% drawdown, you would have tripled, even quadrupled your money. What is this? Yeah, this is quintupled your money, right? From that point. So does that mean we can still get drawdown? Absolutely. And if we draw this 20% down, we're looking at about 55,000 or 55,000 ish. But we can see that at this point we did get a bounce to the upside of about about 30%. So that's sort of why I drew this line, where I do think we can get a bounce. So if we draw it from this point, right, go up 30%, there. So we're looking at about a return to maybe 88k, which is why I drew this line. And again, low volume. So I do think we can get that bounce, and then go back down and then head back up. So we're moving very similarly to 2022. All right, let's go back to our chart here. Okay. Now, if we do look at where our point of interest lies on the 1 day, so for those who are, for you guys, I'm not sure if you know this indicator, but it's also by Chart Prime. It's a bar magnified volume profile. It's like a visible range volume profile, but it takes from a fixed range rather than whatever you see, which I find to be more reliable, and at least it doesn't keep changing as you zoom in or out. Our point of interest, or where the most traded volume was about 111,000. And typically when you have a volume profile and you have gaps like this to the next high, you're very likely to head back to the next high to basically retest. And 90k is about where I would expect a very sharp rejection if we do get there, because of the fact that it is your highest volume, your dynamic reactor is there, equilibrium is there, you have FVGs, you even have a liquidity block down there. So I'm going to frame some shorts maybe at around that area and then see what happens from there. But I am confident that we are headed up, at least to make a lower high. Now, this falling wedge here on the 30 minutes is more likely to break to the upside. So falling wedges are bullish in nature. They have a higher likelihood of breaking to the top side, which then would allow for these higher time frames to basically show some move back to the resistance at 71k. But I'm not discounting the fact that if we get rejected here, then we'd have a triple top, and then we'd break to the downside, which would, yeah. Which indicator is this? Are you referring to this one or the structure that's drawn? Also, excuse if I maybe like groan a little bit. My tailbone's a little bit swollen because I basically fell asleep sitting down, and it really sucks. Right side. Oh, so this is the bar magnified volume profile by Chart Prime. So if you go over here to your indicators, you can just type bar magnified. It's not that well known, but I mean 1.9k users use it, and it's basically a free version of, if you have Chart Prime Premium, it's a free version of VRVP, right? And what I like about it is you can essentially configure how many candles you want to look back. I use 200 for like long term. I do 100 levels so that it's like nicer and easier to see the distinctions. I do offset of 25, profile length of 25, so it's not too wide, and then offset 45. And how you would use this essentially is, or what this is telling you is the most trade price, the price that had the most traded volume. So you can see that at this point, not a lot of not a lot of trading happened, but at this point, a lot of trading happened. A lot of trading happened here, and if you essentially, or if you studied um, SMC concepts, or if you do like classical TA, you want to price likes to go back to the most traded volume to essentially get liquidity. So how markets move again is through momentum and liquidity. And if you're not able to get enough liquidity, you can't make moves. And momentum is what allows you to break past resistances and supports. So when you get back here, right, there's not a lot of volume right here. Not a lot of people are stepping in here, but with a big enough move, which market makers like to capitalize on, you're able to essentially skip this area right here and head back here, and then price will probably range around this area before it decides whether it wants to go to the next or go back down. So that's how you use your visible range volume profile. But I guess in this case, it's a fixed range volume profile because it's fixed at 200 candles back, right? This will update based on the time frame. So one day it'll update every single day, and then eventually you'll notice where the points of interest are. But the point of interest is essentially the price with the highest traded volume, and you want to go back there to possibly liquidate people who traded in that area. So with that said, we have 13 minutes before market open. So let's look at the likes of Ethereum from a more macro scale. I am aiming to I am aiming to get a scalp in this session. So that would be fantastic if I do. Let's see. Let's change this 30 minutes and 12 hour and see what we're dealing with. So here on the 30 minutes, you can see that the most traded price was 1970. So a lot of people went long at this area, and your CPO plus seems to corroborate that idea. And you can see here on the 12 hour that that price wants to go back to about 2947. Now, the 12 hour is very much similar to Bitcoin in the sense that it kind of wants to go down, but you are getting a decrease in money outflow. So less money is flowing out. Look at JT. JT? JTO. Oh, sure. Okay. By the way, Vivek, if you have any coins you want me to look at, just let me know, or any assets you want me to look at. So let's go to here. Oh yeah, this long on Jupe that I did live did hit full take profit, which I found really cool. JTO is in the coin or this Mavi. Yeah, don't fall asleep sitting down. It's not a good idea. Or at least don't fall asleep sitting down on the hard floor. Okay, no problem. Which exchange do you use? Because I could go with Blowfin. Ooh, interesting. So let's move this to see. Okay, it's 4 hour. Okay, Blowfin, perfect. So in terms of a swing, I mean, you are overbought on the 30 minutes and you're getting money outflow, so that means people are taking profits. That said, you can essentially see what I mean, right? This was the point of interest, but to get to the next high volume node, you basically skip that entire thing. Now, it doesn't actually do that normally. Like, it's a very slow but rapid move to the next high volume node, but this is an example of your visible or your fixed range volume profile theory working in action. You're able to see where the highest traded volume parts are. So you can also see it like touch this next one, got rejected, so people have sell orders at equilibrium. Now, we are not overbought on the 4 hour and we're still bullish, which tells me that we basically want to see if we stay above this area right here, or point of control, right? If we can stay above the point of control, then we can long. But what I would wait for on the lower time frames is basically a retest or lower move. So I want to go back to the POC right here. You can see that there's no volume moves here, so kind of like manipulation right there. Not a lot of people traded at this price, and now people are essentially shorting here. So let's see if we can capitalize on this. But ideally, ooh, hold on, guys. Yeah, part of Chinese New Year is like lifting stuff. So we have like this very heavy urn, and the smoke is supposed to be auspicious for prosperity and wealth, and I had to carry it because I'm the only guy in the house. So my shoulders and back is just. Anyways, hey Speezy, welcome. It's been a while. I'm glad to have you back on the screen. Essentially, right now, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I want a move back down to the POC of at this range, and then we can maybe consider taking a long, because your fluid zero line here on on your MVP ribbon is really high. You kind of want it to return closer to the zero line. Let's go down to maybe let's go up a little bit, 1 day and maybe 15. No, let's do an hour. See if there's anything meaningful there. So your 1 hour, actually, okay, your 1 day is crossing that fluid zero line, and your most traded. Oh, oopsie, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, okay. Your most traded, or your point of interest, is all the way up to 1.84. Oh, this is a nasty drop. How many percentages is this? I don't even know about this coin. Ooh, 86%. Crazy. But yeah, your point of interest is 1.86. So in fixed range theory, you should just like magically head to 1.09. Not sure how that's going to work, but you do see money inflows. And again, I would long at a better price relative to right now, because the 1 hour is overbought and it is going to correct. So possibly down to the FEG here at 0.31. So I'd set alerts. I'd set alerts at 0.32. See how the 1 hour looks from there, and then set an alert at 0.31 and see how it looks from there. Yeah, hey Daga. Alright. Okay, 6 minutes before market open. Let's look at Ethereum again. I was just telling them about how I like this new indicator more than market dynamics volume profile. It's much simpler. Like you can visually see what you kind of need at a glance, and it's by Chart Prime. Yeah, feel like the naming convention could be better, but that's just for SEO purposes. But it is really good. So Ethereum does want to return to 2946 on the daily. That's the most traded price, and you can see there's just a big gap of volume. Over here, not a lot of people were trading. You have a little bit of trading here, a little bit of trading here, but this is the highest traded most volume, so the highest traded price. Looking at Solana. Okay, Solana's not looking that good. Alright, let's go to the 12-hour, because we were looking at everything more macro first, and then we can probably do a scalp before market open. So 5 minutes before market open. Let's hope I can do this sharpishly. So same thing on the 12-hour. Solana does want to head up, but you will probably face some resistance at 102. Excuse me, if you head up there. Got a bearish cross here on the 30 minutes. Not good. But you did get a green reversal triangle, and you did bounce off the 618, and your POC is acting as support. That's pretty decent. Yeah, this structure is very common right now with the big three, which is Interesting. Now I don't really like the CPO plus on the 12-hour compared to Bitcoin, because at least with Bitcoin, if I go back to it, right, on the 1 day it kind of looks like hopium, right? But actually, let's be fair. Let's put it in a 12-hour. Yeah, this is not that good. um, Having said that, again, if we break to the downside here and we wick off 66,000, I would consider that a move to the upside. We can probably scalp long that. I'm eyeing. Let's look again. I'm eyeing a move to at least 66.7. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm eyeing a move to at least 66,700 for this stream, so I'm gonna set an alert at 66,700 and see where we go from there. So over here wouldn't surprise me. Wick up and then head back up, because if we get a double bottom here, we essentially invalidate the double top here, and we basically have a higher likelihood of moving to the upside, right? Uh, this can't. I mean, this could head and shoulders if we get rejected here and then we break further to the downside. But the higher up we break, the less likely we are to break really low, because this 68k has been holding as support for the past, how many hours is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for about the past 60 hours. So you're basically going to fall at 68k again. And like I showed you guys earlier, I do think we're gonna get a lower high from a 1 week scale, right? And then head back down to about 50, just because we are kind of following the 2022 cycle, right? So if we look here, we dropped, right? And then from this point, we still went up about 24%. But if you want to get from the low created here, then you did go up about 32%. But then from here, you did drop another 37%, which would put you in about 56, 55k. So when we had a massive drop like this, we still had a move to the upside, trapped people over here, went back down even lower than the last, which took out anyone who placed longs at this area. And then from there, we made generational wealth, quintupling the money all the way to all-time highs, right? Actually, it's not even a quintuple, because if you got here, I think it's close to an octuple. I can't see that. Yeah. Oh no, that's a. What's 7? Heptagon. Wait, is 6 hepta? 8 is octa. Penta is 5, right? So what is 7? Hepta? Because it's 6 is hexa, right? Heptagon. Yeah, heptuple. There we go. Math. Yeah. I think I'm right. Not sure. 1 minute before market open. So let's just watch carefully. We can probably enjoy looking at this in the lower time frame. So let me go to 5 minutes over here, 30 minutes over here. Okay. Oh, the symbol's not the same. Weird. Okay. Ooh, 5 minutes with the peak seeker. Not good. Yeah, actually I'm curious now. Is it heptagon? I need to know for my law exam. It's terrible if I don't remember it right away. Yeah, there we go. So it's a heptuple. There we go. Yeah. Big break. Okay, market open. Let the volatility commence. Nothing. I'll be right back. I'll just get some water, but this does look like it could go to 66.7. I hate that is where liquidity lies at the moment, but it is what it is. So I'll be right back. Give me like 3 minutes to just refill my water. Wow, I was gone just like 2 minutes and we wicked to 68 2. Oh, that's impressive. But I am looking at six. I hate it. 66 7? Really? Really? Alright. Ooh. Yeah, that doesn't look good. I wonder what's gonna happen at the liquidity block over here. But we are ranging. I mean, this is a downtrend, right? So if we close like this, I don't want to frame a short just because volatility could whiplash back to the 68k. Yeah. If we close like this, then we have an indecision candle, and that wouldn't be ideal. Actually, kind of left my earpiece over here. Okay. Should have grabbed that on the way back. Well, you know, it did take out both sides like we said. I mean, this is textbook volatility. Question is, we're technically squeezing between these two between these two, or between this range of 68 and 67.8, so we need to break one to determine how we're gonna move. Hmm. Oh, hey Ma, welcome to the show. Looks like Vivek left. But we're just actually, let's look at how the FA has changed since we've done this. So I was showing this earlier. Let's refresh this because we did get the move down. It hasn't changed. I'm still looking at 66.7. But I'm sure this might have changed, and I think we'll have to refresh. Okay, it hasn't changed much, but again, we do have the same amount of liquidity stacked on both sides, with longs having more leverage liquidations. Uh, yeah, I mean this cluster is much bigger than this, so I do see downside at least very quickly before we get any upside and we break the range. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, wait, we were supposed to look at Jelly Jelly, so let me go back and see Jelly Jelly. And just as I said, I do see downside. We've broken past the last wick. So I'm looking at 66.7. If we break below 66.7, then I do think we'll get more downside back to about 64,000. But if we stay above 66.7, and if this is just a wick to the downside, um, then we're able to essentially stay within the ascending triangle, right? This is a double top. If we can't close inside it again within the next 9 hours, then this is just going to drop further to the downside back to 62, back to 65, then 62 or 63, and then back to 60. Yeah, this is a big 5-minute candle. It's just a straight line. But yeah, let's look at Jelly Jelly. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, what is that? Okay, so we went back to the point of interest here on Jelly Jelly. Let's put this in the 4 hours so it's more meaningful, and then put this 15 minutes. Okay, so Jelly Jelly does look like it's still gonna have a move to the upside. Although it is overbought here on the 4 hour, the 30 minutes isn't, and we can go even more overbought. Uh, let's see the 12 hour if we can get anything meaningful. Alright, so we're at the point of interest on the 12 hour, with the 12 hour being overbought. Let's see here. Point of interest is over here, and then equilibrium is over here. And the 4 hour placed resistance at, where is resistance? Over here, closer to the top. Okay. So I do think we could get a short at this level, so I'll just set an alert, and we'll see if we can short that eventually. Let's go back to Bitcoin. So it has broken below our 68K support. But again, if the 12 hour is just a wick down to like 66.7 and closes back above 68K, that wouldn't surprise me. Okay. let's see how we close here. Again, I do want to get to 66.7. Get that hotspot. Then if we get over here and we reject, we can probably put in a market long, right? But 66.7 is the goal, which is terrible. Still won't forget how I was in class, and then my professor asked, "What's 33%? What's 33% of 200?" And I went, "Oh, 67." And then everyone was like, 67. Fuck it. I'm not ready for the real world. He said we aren't ready for the real world. Okay, USDT dominance is increasing. It's the 1 hour. So if it stays above that, it's a break of structure, then USDT dominance is going to continue up, which means more downside. But if it doesn't stay above that on a higher time frame, then we're likely going to head back down. Then again, right, this doesn't really bode well for us, because that right there is a wedge that's just ready to break out with a nice flag, which would put you at 10%, which is crazy. That would put the crypto market, or the rest of our coins, heavily to the downside. So we're close to 66.7. We are going oversold. MVP ribbon is below fluid zero line. Bottoming bars are forming. So, and this is fairly aggressive, so I do think we can get past 66.7 potentially. Right, but the discount is holding. We are headed towards the hotspot that we saw earlier. Okay, long wicks, but then we need a more convincing close. Again, 66.7 is my target. I think it did touch. Oh no, 66.8. This is our target at 66.7. $67. Oh, hate that number. But we're gonna close like that. Okay, so I'll probably do like a market long on the close. So maybe like down here and something like this. See how this pans out. So this, oh no, let's do it down here. Previous day low. I do think you could get to this point, and then we can maybe go back to the point of interest. So this is my very short scalp or small scalp for the day. Let me just place it. See how it goes. So my stop loss 66,320. Okay, so now it's filled. Come on, 66.7. Okay, this might die actually. I haven't even placed it yet. But touch 66.7. Let's see if it heads up. Maybe I should have put the entry here. Actually, there's probably still time to put the market long. So like market long would be over here now. Alright, so this is a nice 1 to 2. So this is our scalp. I don't know if I can post it. I'll try. Okay, where's my docs? Oh, no, it went back. Okay, I haven't done it yet. So, okay, right along. Okay, let me do. Yep, okay, have this. Very small. Let me try to post it, but this is my scalp, and I'm now in it at 66.7, near 66.8. So probably gonna be 67,320. So that's my scalp. So we are in it. Let's see how this pans out. Okay, so we are in small profits. But we need our momentum to reverse before we get any real upside from here. But we are leaving long wicks to the downside, to the up. Sorry, is this right? From the downside, because this is, yeah. So we are leaving long wicks from the downside. So we're likely going to. That means there's buying pressure at this point. I see that Shell 4319 is here. Welcome, buddy. Welcome to the stream. But it has been a while since I've scalped, so I'm happy that we are getting a scalp now. At least some level of clarity is returning, for, at least from my trading style, or from my trading style. Ooh. Yeah, don't fall asleep sitting down. Don't do that, guys. It's terrible. I regret falling asleep sitting down. I thought that if I did that, I'm more likely to wake up, which is true. I did wake up, but the consequence was not worth it. It was not worth it at all. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. For I know I greeted Mile V here earlier, but if any of you guys do celebrate Chinese New Year, 新年快乐，恭喜发财. My family does celebrate it since I am half Chinese. So yeah, happy Chinese New Year, guys, and hopefully the Lunar New Year with its auspiciousness will bring us lots of prosperity moving forward. Yeah. Yeah, this Chinese New Year has only brought me back pain because of lifting the furnace. It is painful. But yeah, looks like we are in profits. Actually, I'm not sure why this FEG didn't appear, but there is supposed to be an FEG right here. So we should probably draw that in. So it starts from over here to... I mean, it technically drew that, so but that's the FEG we're looking at right here. And it should still have some liquidity because this only barely touched it. Let's see how FA has changed now that we dropped $1,500. Let's refresh this. So now there's more short side liquidity than long side liquidity. I believe the short side liquidity, or the long side liquidity has been decimated now. So now being even, like I said, we are going to try to get both sides you can see like an influx of short orders. We could still potentially head down, um, but well, we'll just have to see. The scalp is in profits right now. We may have to close early, but looking at this, I'm more confident we could get a move to about 68. Take profit. Hey Dimitar, welcome to the show. Let's go back to the charts. Here's the scalp at 66.7. Really hate the number. I mean, if this closes really weak in the next 20 seconds, we could close it just to protect profits. Because if it closes, I mean, if this closes with downside, then we are going to break below 66.6. Five, four, three, two, one. So there is like a very tiny body, not really great or ideal. You are curving here on the CPO plus. Your momentum still pointed down, hence the selling pressure. But this could, if you're able to get above this wick on the close, then you have a greater likelihood of upside back to that point of interest. And we are getting, what was that, overbought on ARCM? What's ARCM up to? Let's check what ARCM's up to. And maybe you can look at gold while we're at it, or after ARCM. Let's just see how blowfin. That doesn't, oh. I mean, it could have been overbought, but it's just ranging. Not really that interesting. Let's look at gold. Oh. So gold just capitulated to the downside. Never reached our top here, but I guess the idea was there. We could be looking at a move to 4676, which is the next relatively high volume node, and the dynamic reactors there. So I'll set an alert here. Alright. Let's do an alert here and see if we can maybe long gold when it gets down here eventually, if the MVP ribbon is favorable. But then again, like I said, I was more keen on potentially shorting gold, but now that it's moved like this, I don't know if we can maximize that short, unless it goes back up, forms a triple top, right? If it bounces off this neckline right here, forms another top, then of course we can short over here down to this area. Let's go back to our Bitcoin scalp. Yeah, looks like we're going to close above that wick, so if we do get a close above that wick, and if we hit our first take profit at 67.3, we move our stop loss to break even, we've protected our downside, and we're good. Happy Chinese New Year! 新年快乐! Woo! But I shouldn't celebrate too early. We need to get that close, and maybe that move to 67.3. Good morning. At least on my end, it's good evening. I don't know if I should challenge myself to speak in Mandarin for the rest of the stream. I don't even know what candle is, or what. No, long and what is it? Chang, and then short is duan. No, I probably shouldn't. It will make things a little difficult for you guys if I start speaking in Mandarin. And I also don't know the right translations for trading in Mandarin. Because, right, long for us means something, right? It's a signifier for betting that the market's going up. But then I don't know if I should use chang, which is long as in long, like in length in Chinese, or duan, which is short in Chinese. I don't know if it's the same thing, or if that would be the same signifier. Okay, let's not think about signifier signified. That's what is that? It's not epistemology. Oh fuck, screw that. Oh my goodness. But yes, happy Chinese New Year. 新年快乐. Yeah, just those two phrases have just been stuck in my head, and I've just been getting messages from everyone just going like 新年快乐. And fun fact, 新年 is actually New Year. Nian is year. Sin is like fresh or new. and Kwaila is happy. So like the order is reversed. It's like New Year happy, right? Instead of Happy New Year, it's like New Year happy, and then 恭喜发财 is like may wealth, because C is wealth, right? May wealth find you or come to you. Like Fa, I believe, is send, so sending wealth over. Yeah. Now you know some Chinese. Okay. But yeah, if we get a close like this, then we are headed to our first take profit, and I wouldn't be too worried, which would mean that in the first time, for the first time in like a month, I'm able to scalp. I'm looking for more scalps in the future. And oh, by the way, guys, the schedule for streams might change, like for everyone. I'm still working out the details with OC, and OC is going to be the one to announce it. But just a heads up, we might be changing the schedule, um, so that we can better make the most out of just the streams that we have here on Chart Prime, since we want to deliver the best service, right? So we might have like classes in the evening and then live trading in the morning. So we'll see how that works. Obviously, the arrangements would also influence like Alex O'Crypto's schedule, OC's classes, and Runaire's streams as well. But I spoke to OC, and I sort of want to keep this time slot because obviously in the morning I'm in school. Can't really stream in school. I mean, we tried in when I was in Queenstown in New Zealand, and that turned out very well, very well. I mean, I was lagging every like 10 minutes, and I couldn't even load something. So yeah, just a heads up that we might be changing our schedule, um, probably next week. So at least for this week, it's still effective that I do Wednesday and Thursday. So Wednesday tomorrow is 2 hours, and then Thursday is 1 hour 30 minutes on market open. So yeah, just a heads up. Okay, let's see here, 66.9. So long as we don't close below this candle, we should be okay. We did sort of get past 67, but people are putting some selling pressure right here. So I'm not too surprised, but we got above our last wick. So if we close relative, even just above the last two candles, we're gonna have a continuation to the upside. So let's just see how this goes. We still have 24 minutes on the stream. I'll just quickly use the restroom. I'll be right back. yeah, looks like we're going to get to our first take profit, and I'd like for that to happen. Uh, let's see here. Yeah, 67, 327. It's just a little bit more. Come on, Bitcoin, you got this. I believe in you. Go, Bitcoin. 327. I don't care if you're at 67 right now, and if it's a meme, but you gotta move it. Ugh, now it's failing a little. Uh, but yeah, let's just see how this goes. If it closes like this, that's an indecision candle. I mean, with a buys to the upside, but oh no, no Bitcoin. That's disappointing. That is disappointing. Yeah, no, 5 seconds. I mean, there, no, no, disappointing. That is very disappointing. Yeah, no, that's like, if you can't get above at least this high, then you're not continuing. But yeah, come on, you got this. You got this, buddy. 20 minutes before the show. Um, yeah. All right. Actually, if you guys are in this long and you feel like you want to move your stop loss to break even, I wouldn't stop you, since at the very least I believe we got, okay, this is 1.86%, so at least we got to about 33% of the way there. So if you want to protect your downside, you can do that. But I do think that there is still a pretty good chance we head to 67,330, because this might double bottom, might kill you on the move down, and then really make the move back to 67, 327. So yeah, let's just see how it moves for the next couple minutes. But feel free to move your stop loss if you are in this trade. So we're going back to entry, I think. Okay, we're back to entry. We closed at entry. MVP ribbon does look like it's curving to the upside. Um, so we need to get above that engulfing candle, which is going to be quite difficult. If we see a lot more downside, we can probably cut our losses early. But because this is a very small position, we shouldn't worry too hard. I think I placed like 0.5% of the portfolio. It's really just playing with us right now. Okay. Ooh, nice engulfing. If we can maintain that, that would be great. Langestrom, later if time allows, can you show me gains and loss if I took? Oh wait, when did I post this? I don't think well, the Tau trade. When did I post this? Hold on. Also, I haven't looked at Tau recently. That's a good question. Uh, huh. Wait. Sorry, can you tell me when I posted the Tau trade? Hold on, let me just scroll up to see. Oh, back in January 20. But didn't the stop loss get hit already? Um, Typically when if the stop loss is hit, it's kind of invalid. Uh, I don't think I posted this yesterday. But if you took it yesterday, wait, how did you take it yesterday? 4 hours. Okay, let me go to the 1 day, see what happened. Wait, how did you take it yesterday? 2:15. So you entered. Did you enter long or market price? Ooh. Uh, you're also way below the stop loss right now. I don't. Can you show me if I took your town? The math ain't mathin' on my end. Afraid I'd lose 1,500. Can you show gains at $100 entry if TP were to hit at 1x and 15x? I can't necessarily show, but where did you enter? Like, what was your your entry? Is it 226.14? So you entered like a couple. No, that entered like a couple days ago because the entry was over here. Just let me know where you entered. But I'm pretty sure this was back. Well, it's back in January 20, so literally a month ago, and the stop loss was hit. So I'm not. I wouldn't say this is necessarily valid, but just let me know where you entered, and maybe we can do a risk assessment. All right? Cause I know it's pretty scary to be in drawdown of 1.5. I know it's not pretty scary. It is scary, right? Any drawdown amount greater than 500 is scary. Oh no, well, unless you're like a hyper whale and 500 is like $5 to you. But for us mere mortals, 500 drawdowns pretty scary, and you have every right to 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 feel afraid and like the adrenaline. So just let me know where you entered and let's do a risk assessment because we still have 8 minutes on the show. Going back to BTC, so we did engulf the previous candle. We might consolidate in range here, but I am aiming for our 67.3 entry right here. At this point, I'm probably going to put stop loss to break even. We'll have to see because you got the move to the downside. You liquidated any market longs here. You got a strong move to the upside. But if we're going to range like this, we can wait for it. Let's wait for up until the stream ends, and then we'll decide if we want to close early, put stop loss to break even, or close in a small loss. Yeah, but just let me know, Shell, because we still have about 7 minutes left on the show. Hey Adam, welcome. Thank you for dropping by. Yeah, these trades are these lives are recorded, and I also have a video pinned to my channel about what I look for before taking a trade. So if you go over to my channel, I also go over like my general trading technique as well as the habit, or at least like the things I look at before I take a trade on TA, what I look for in TA, and how I execute trades. But yeah, what was your entry for Tau? Just let me know. Like specifically what price on Tau, and if did you do 50x leverage or? Also, if it's 1x, it's a spot buy, right? Oh, I see. Okay, that's okay. Really? So someone else posted this. That's weird. Okay. Um, a little weird, but that's cool. All right, let's just see how we move. We didn't get past this candle, but if we go back down, I'd probably close the scalp. But I'm more concerned with how we close on the 1 day and 12 hour. If we close below the ascending triangle like this outside of it, then we can frame some shorts. Yeah. So I would probably short down to maybe 65. So we're back at entry for our scalp. Now we're in drawdown. Took 2 candles to get past this candle. Uh, see how we do. But yeah, price action kind of freaky 1 hour after market open. We clearly got a bounce at the liquidity hotspot that we were showing in fundamental analysis. But it looks like it's not going to last too long as we're trying to get lower targets potentially. So let's see again how the FA has changed. So back over here, this is what we were looking at about 30 minutes ago. Let's refresh this. It's about the same, and it is targeting potentially up to 66.5 before heading up. You see that there is suddenly an influx of short leverage coming in. 7 days should show that shorts are bigger, so we are appearingly headed down, but this level seems to be holding. So I'll decide whether we just let it run or we close it in 3 minutes. And yeah, if we let it run, I'll let it hit stop loss if that happens. Or if it hits first TP, then I'll move stop loss to break even. But yeah, let's just see. Hey G Thornton, it's been a while. Welcome back. Um, we'll never forget your profile picture. It's a beautiful picture of dung. Yeah. About 2 minutes left on the stream, and about 2 minutes left. Oh no, and we'll see how we close. But this isn't closing as great as I thought it would. Um, I think you can configure that, but you have to use your PC to configure that so you get it on your phone. Uh, what's it called again? Um, oh no, you can't. Okay, my bad. But you can reduce like the mobile delay. I think that's one thing, so you can also get signals faster from everyone. But okay, so market close, or not market close. The stream's technically at its end, but just looking at where we are, I think I'll let this run. We didn't technically engulf this candle; we just visited below it, so I'll let this run. But I'd probably move the stop loss to maybe 66.5, just so uh, it closes with like very little loss. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me today. Sorry, Mila, you're a little late to the party, but thank you guys for joining me. We'll stream again tomorrow, same time, but for 2 hours. So that's 9 a.m. EST for 2 hours. And yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful day ahead. And for those of us who are in the Western Hemisphere, Sinyan Kwaila, Kong Si Fatsai. And for those of us here in the Eastern Hemisphere, it's going to be uh, Feb 18 soon. So yeah, thank you guys for dropping by. I appreciate it. And don't forget to always use a stop loss. See you guys.